In this video, sponsored by Lancaster Insurance, can we actually go for a drive yet? Well, today's mission, I was going to try and fit the plastic fan, and you can see I've made a preemptive strike by putting the fan belt on, which will also go around the alternator. Getting the alternator in here is quite interesting, but not as interesting as it's going to be trying to get the bolts, access to the bolts. And you can just see that bit sticking out of the engine block down there, which it won't focus on. There's a bolt that goes through there and through the back of the alternator. A separate one at the front. I'd rather hoped it might just be one long bolt, but no. Two bolts, which I'm probably going to have to access from beneath, and then a top bolt will attach it to the adjuster bracket here, which enables you to set the tension. And with that done, the crankshaft will then drive both the alternator and the water pump, which will have the fan on it. So that's good news. Let's make sure that is actually free spinning there. And then I can do the pipe work, fit the radiator. Here's the radiator. It has made it to the front of the vehicle. Might need a bit of a clean, but nonetheless it's closer. And yeah, then we should be able to get the heating system clogged up. Someone mentioned flushing the matrix. Very good idea, but obviously I'm not going to do that in the garage. So I think my plan is probably to get everything connected up in here, where I've got a nice fixed workroom, and then we'll drive it outside, woohoo, to give everything a good flush, block and the matrix, and we'll fill with plain water to start with, just to check sure there are no leaks, make sure there are no leaks. And yeah, we'll see how that goes. I have been informed this tray is upside down, so I need to take the carburetor off again and flip that, but it's only 2 nuts. That's not a biggie in the big scheme of things, so I'll get that done as well. Starting to feel a bit like progress. There we go, perfect. Maybe not perfect. I guess the engine, the alternator goes in front of that front plate down there, not behind it. Interesting. Well, this is proving to be a horrible job. So tight to get in to the fixings. Getting access from underneath isn't that much more fun, to be honest. And now got a problem that the alternator is hitting this bracket, and I was trying to work out what on earth is going on. But if we consult the Haynes manual, the bracket should bend backwards, and it appears to be bending forwards. So I'm going to have to undo that water pump nut so I can swap that bracket around. What a pain. Oh, this is turning into a right pig of a job, because obviously that's the one that's decided to pull the stud out of the block rather than undo the nut, and there's not clearance to get that out, so I can't flip the little bracket around. So I'm going to have to remove the sodding water pump. What a palaver. Obviously getting the water pump out isn't very easy when you've got the alternator in place, but like hell am I getting those bottom bolts out again, having got them started. So yeah, it's just going to have to be slow going, about 1/8 of a turn at a time. Ugh, one of those jobs, like so many on this project. Now, getting the water pump off isn't going to help, because the problem is the clearance between the water pump body and the pulley. I don't think I can get the pulley off very easily. I think that's a press fit. Oh, what a ball ache. So now I've got a stud that won't release, or a stud that will release too much, and I can't flip this sodding bracket. Can't flip the bracket, can't fit the alternator, can't fit the alternator, can't get the fan belt on, so can't drive the water pump. Oh, horrible. I think the only thing I can do is get some Loctite on the stud, wang it in, leave it, and then hope when I come back the nut releases and the Loctite doesn't. Well, it is several days later, and I'm pleased to report that the Loctite worked. The stud has remained in the block, the nut has come off, which means I can carefully, hopefully. Oh no, I may have Loctited the bracket in place. Or maybe this bloody alternator's in the way. Oh no, there we go. Try and make sure we don't lose the washer. Little shake-proof washer there. Hurrah! So now we can put the bracket on the right way round, which I think was that way is the way it needs to be, I think. Let's look at the manual. No, wrong. That's the way it was. It needs to be that way. So it goes behind the alternator, because there's a screw thread, which I hadn't noticed, in the alternator body. So the bolt just screws in, holds the tension in place. Brilliant. Shaky washer. And put the nut back on and pretend none of this ever happened. Ah, good grief. So yeah, I mean, I haven't been able to touch this car because I've been off fetching the Rover and then driving the Rover away to have the brakes fixed. And then tomorrow I'm off to head north, the start of the trip, to take the Rover to the Hud Nut Social. I'll leave that finger tight until I've got the adjuster attached. So yeah, there's just a lot on. This poor little Fox is struggling to get any time thrown at it, but I've got some time this morning, and I'm going to do that. I'm hopefully going to get that radiator installed, might get the cooling system fitted. I've got a connector to get the throttle cable attached. Oh, it's all happening. There's still a lot to do, mind you. Still got to work out how to repair this hole and things like that, but that doesn't stop me going for a drive up my driveway. I think I can honestly say I'm never going to take on someone else's project ever again. This is just a complete nightmare. Notice the alternator body is actually away from the backing plate, so I need a spacer. Cannot find the spacer in the box of random oddments. God knows where that went, because I didn't take it off. So yeah, that confirms there is the spacer. I've not got anything like it, so I think I'm just going to see if I can make a spacer out of this nut, oversized nut and washer. At least the main thing is so the nut can actually clamp it against the backing plate, which is that curvy line there, because otherwise it ain't going to work. And it's all this stuff means fitting an alternator is so far taking up about an hour and a half, I think, over the course of 2 days. Pain in the backside. Right, we've got the fan on, we've got the alternator on. I think the belt tension's alright, maybe that's a bit loose. We'll see, I can always adjust it. But I've got to stop now because the Rover needs tyres rather desperately, because I'm driving up to the social tomorrow. So that's it, tinkering time is over. I've even got a mystery package that has been sent me for Took, apparently. No time to look at it. I need to go. Need to go to close the garage. Need to remember my mug. Turn the lights off. What a beautiful day. Well, we're getting frustratingly close here. I've got the radiator in. There's the fan behind it. Yes, those are cable ties. They will be replaced by hose clips. But I've lost the little stem that comes off the block there for the heater pipe, so I can't complete the cooling system. In fact, I've lost pretty much everything. I'm losing the plot. I'm losing the will to live. I can't find any of the stuff I need. I mean, I know I got sent a replacement hose, but God knows where that's gone. So this is incredibly frustrating. I mean, who could believe that stuff would go missing in my garage? It's just unheard of. I reckon I'm going to have a stop and a cup of tea, because I'm getting quite seriously angry. There are days when I just drive myself absolutely up the wall. Oh, there it is. I've just spent about 10 minutes looking for that. Tea time. It's another mystery package. And seeing as I can't find what I actually want to find at the moment, which is a rather important part of the cooling system on the Fox, let's open it. It looks like a box within a box. This is described as a present for Took. What could it be? Oh, this parcel tape is good stuff apparently. Oh, there we go. What finally? Well, is this what I think it is? Oh, I'm ripping into it and look, there's actually it's a tie. More haste, less speed. I'm not like that overexcited kid at Christmas. I think this is a seat back for an Invercar Model 70. Oh yes, I was right. Wow. An entirely immaculate seat back for an Invercar Model 70. Looks even got the painted brackets. Beautiful. Oh, one tiny tear on the back of it, which does not compare to the mess of the seat that's on there at the moment. Wow. What a remarkably generous gift. Thank you to the person on Twitter who sent me that part. Let's go and see what's wrong with the one that's on Took at the moment. I mean, I'm in no rush to change it because it's part of her original makeup. But by the same token, I can't just keep using this one. Look at the state of it. It's a bit of a mess. So now we have a super tidy one. This is restoration, people. So yeah, thank you very much, Mr. Twitterman, for sending Took a little present. You pleased? She doesn't look pleased. I think she wants to go for a drive, that's the problem. I found it! I found it! I found it! It was down there, near the water pump. Thanks to Adam. This is how blokes look for stuff. It has to be logical. And I spoke to Adam, who sent me the bits, and he said I sent it you with the water pump and thermostat. So I went digging around in that corner, which was a chance to actually put stuff in a bag, and success! We have the missing part. Let's crack on. This is very exciting. Well, this is getting serious. Plumbing system leaves a lot to be desired, but it's kind of plumbed in. I've got a rudimentary fuel supply because I don't trust the tank yet. But I'm going to fill the radiator with water and see what happens. Hopefully not too much of it will come peeing out. Right, change of microphone because we're getting a bit outdoorsy now. And I think it's time to see if she'll fire up. She probably won't because I think she ran out of fuel last time. But we'll see if we can get her drawing fuel. Might be a struggle to do that before the battery goes flat. And I've just remembered I haven't actually plugged in the alternator wiring. So I might do that because that might do a few good things. So let's do that. Let's not rush. In theory, that should give us ignition lights now. No. Okay. May need to prime the carburetor, I think. Right, jump back in place. Come on, Foxanne. You don't have to put on that red light, but please start. Yeah, doesn't seem much interested, does she? Not even a hint. Aha! That's why, it's because my ignition return has come off the coil. There we go, sometimes it's obvious. So if I haven't flooded the plugs now, having not noticed that before. Ugh. This is where I end up flattening my jump pack. Oh, I think that should be on there as well. I've knocked lots of wires off during the course of this. Right, let's give her a burst, a throttle. We've got the choke wired on. Come on, Foxanne. You don't have to put on that red light. It's good because you won't. Whoa! Something isn't sounding great down there. What's that fan hitting? Or is it that there? I think I'll see some witness marks if it's hitting something it shouldn't be. That's rotating all the way around without hitting anything, so it's not that. I hope this isn't where I discover my alternator's completely knackered. Anticlimactic, Captain. Well, I've checked the clearance on the alternator and adjusted ignition time in a bit. Let's see what happens now. I'm going to call that good enough for a first drive. Oh, she's conked out. Wasn't quick enough. Ah! Ugh. Stuff waiting for battery chargers. Let's see if Ellie can do the necessary. We shall go back into neutral because we won't be driving anywhere while we're hooked up with HT leads. Just got to keep running. Keep running, Foxanne, keep running. Eddie needs to go backwards. Keep going, Foxanne, keep going, keep going. Oh, there we go, select first gear. Oh, finding reverse is a challenge. There we go. Look at that. Sounds alright, we've got the fan going round. Oh, might move that little wire out of the way, that's her temperature gauge. She's drinking from her bottle of Sprite. think we should take her up the driveway myself. But here she is, out in the open. Could even shut the tailgate. In fact, maybe I'll give you a drive-by. That's what was making the noise. It was that hose hitting the fan. That's just a temporary hose because I've not got everything wired in correctly at the moment. But well, she sounds absolutely lovely. Hee. Probably want to come with me, don't you? It's alright, the fuel pipe had come out of the fuel in the little bottle of Sprite. She's perky. And you'll notice the other 850cc car that's sort of on the fleet is here. We've got the Nipper visiting because Mrs. Hubnut is packaging the merchandise at the moment, so she's doing very useful stuff. But it does mean I've got nowhere to turn, and I've got no mirrors on the outside, so reversing is all I've got is that little view through the back window. Let's try not to crash. The brakes work after a fashion. Brilliant! I'm dead chuffed. Foxanne lives. Now I deserve a cup of tea. In the words of Roixop featuring Robin, do it again! Look, we have got an ignition light now. That's an improvement. Excellent turning circle, look at that. Oh, we've got something going on in the volts department. Oh, there we go, building up. Oh, my stereo doesn't work. That's a disappointment. Right, lift into reverse, which puts the lever on the floor, and back we go again. So there we go. She runs, she drives, she feels quite spirited. Proper little flying machine. Still a fair bit to do. She's not about to go for an MOT anytime soon. We've got bodywork, repairs. I would like to get her running on a bit less choke. Although the choke is cleverly winding itself off as the tension decreases on that. I need to sort the ignition timing out. I need to go properly through the cooling system. Need to make sure it's got a proper fuel system and not drinking out of a Sprite bottle. Got to sort the heater out. I mean, what's going on here? We have no idea. So still plenty to do, but yeah, there is no finer moment than that first drive, and I enjoyed that one very much. Thank you for your assistance, Ellie. Very much appreciated. As is the assistance of Adam and the Reliant Owners Club, and people on the kitten register as well. There's a lot of love out there for these little cars, and it's thrilling to see. Right, I might have one quick last razz up the driveway, and then I better get her back in the garage, because I don't want to push her in. It's a lot easier if I can get her in with the bottle of fuel she has. So I shall say thank you very much for watching. don't forget to subscribe before you go. Don't forget about lovely merchandise at hubnut.org. And yeah, we shall see you, Foxanne, Myrtle, Tuck and Ellie, in future videos, and Rovers and Mazdas variously. Maybe even a bit of Perodua. So farewell. Hee hee.